Look, this story on the front page of The Australian today, a terrific indication of just how important the backpacker community is to this country.
Oh, well, Peter, look, the fires in Australia have been headline news around the world. Already, prior to the fires, there were backpackers who wanted to come to Australia to work and to see Australia either on the 12-month visa or the 2-year visa or 3-year visa. Now, what this has done for Blaze Aid and for our farmers and property owners who've been smashed by these fires is given the backpackers the opportunity to get what they really want, and that is a second year in Australia or even a third year. Now, what they're able to do is work with Blaze Aid at the fire front, rebuilding those fences, and there's tens of thousands of kilometres that have been destroyed by the fires, and work shoulder to shoulder with the farmers and the other Blaze Aiders and build up their number of days so they can achieve 88 days, and that will actually get them over the hill as far as having another 12-month stay in Australia. So what I see the future of this is the backpackers will spend a couple of weeks with Blaze Aid, and they'll spend a couple of weeks with fruit picking. In fact, we've got a couple of German backpackers right now who are at Bruthen who leave Blaze Aid tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, their days are not credited because the legislation's not over the line yet, but they are off to Shepparton tomorrow to pick apples. So, there's a case in point that this program by the federal government is going to work so well, because if there's a shortage of work out there on farms, picking fruit and so on, and in those highly desirable industries, there's plenty of work with Blaze Aid helping to rebuild after the fires. So we have got close on 40 bases from Kangaroo Island to the Queensland border and probably into Queensland soon. So there's going to be a lot of options available there. The backpackers will be fed by Blaze Aid and accommodated by Blaze Aid, which usually means a room with they can bring their own swag or tent, and many of them are happily doing that right now. The backpackers are coming mainly from the UK, European countries. We haven't seen many from Korea or Taiwan yet, but maybe they'll be coming over soon.
So, Kevin, this is really important for backpackers in this country because it will enable them to, in many cases, stay 2 or 3 years. And there's been a very strong push to overhaul visa rules for these backpackers. So, in many respects, it's a silver lining, isn't it?
You're right, Peter. When I opened Lobethal Base after the Cuddly Creek fires in South Australia 6 weeks ago, I met a young lady and her partner, Grace, from Bristol in England, and she had told me she had started up further north and started working her way down trying to get jobs on farms, picking fruit and so on, and she said there was knockback after knockback after knockback, and she said instead of it usually taking 3 months to build up her 88 days for her 12-month visa extension, it was now taking double, 6 months. And I also said to her, well, if we're able to get the laws changed, so working with Blaze Aid, rebuilding after the fires and helping farmers, not picking fruit, but rebuilding those fences, still helping farmers, do you think there could be others from your country and other countries that may think like you? And she said, definitely yes. She said, with social media these days, she said, word quickly gets around that Australia is open to backpackers helping to rebuild after the fires, as well as pick fruit or whatever industries that Australia really requires the labour force. So I just see it as a magnificent win-win-win-win for government, for backpackers, Australia's reputation internationally as being a caring country, wanting to take on backpackers who really care about Australia and its wildlife and its farmers, and of course the farmers themselves who desperately need these fences up to keep their cattle and sheep in and off the roads.
Well, Kevin, I've spent a lot of time in central and north Queensland, and I've got to say, I know areas around Bowen and those areas are sort of, resplendent with farms and fruit farms. And they say that, in many instances they couldn't survive without the backpackers because they do such a wonderful job in picking their fruit, you know, particularly the mango guys and the tomato guys. So this is, as you say, this is a win-win for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The thing about the backpackers is that they come in fresh and they've got fresh attitudes. And seeing these two young German nationals this morning, having worked with Blaze Aid for 2 weeks, they are now fresh to go picking apples up at Shepparton in northern Victoria. And as you said, right up to Bowen and further afield, and I've heard one of them talk about they have already been to Western Australia working as well. But for them, it's a great working adventure. And why not encourage it? You know, I just really commend, you know, the Scott Morrison government for getting this over the line. It did take a while, but we've got it today, or we'll have it in the next few days. And, you know, Australia is going to be the great beneficiaries of this. You know, I just think it's like peaches and cream. It all goes together. So it really is a great decision. You know, congratulations to the government for getting it done.
And Kevin, just finally, you say that we need young people with young muscles. It's obviously back-breaking work, but as you say, it's there, the work is there, and it's a great way for these people to travel around the country, earn some dough, and at the same time see the wonderful landscape that we live in.
You're quite right. The average age of the Blaze Aiders, and typically we are retirees or we have mums and dads out on weekends and so on, but I think our average age was about 65 years. With these latest fires, the average age has actually dropped to 49 years. And with the backpackers coming out, it's going to go lower still. They have got the strength, the great knees, great ankles, great staying power. We only need to have 2 or 3 of them in each team, and you know, we can conquer those hills. There's been many places up in northern New South Wales where Blaze Aiders had to say to the farmers, I'm sorry, we can give you the posts and wire, but those hills are just too challenging. You'll have to get that done yourself because we cannot risk injuries with the demographics of the Blaze Aiders. Well, with this new legislation, that's going to turn itself on its own head. And we'll be able to help more farmers who are in serious need for, you know, good help, good solid help over many, many, many months. We're talking about several months of rebuilding. So, no, it's a wonderful thing, wonderful decision, and I just applaud it.